Hello, I was going to say good morning because when this is first shown on television, it's in the morning, but it's shown many times, and we are also on YouTube. Yes, if you look up Patterns for Progress, Stephen Peterson. I don't know if that means we have our own YouTube channel, but I'm telling people that at least 15 of our programs, previously recorded programs, are there, and we're going to add more. And I'm going to tell you something I'm going to do, then hopefully it gets done sometime this year. I'm going to start adding little 60-minute commentaries because a lot of times after I record a program, I think, oh, I should have said that. Then I can put that 60-second thing right there on YouTube. But anyway, Patterns for Progress, Stephen Peterson, for you YouTubers. Patterns for Progress, Stephen Peterson here on the television. So thank you for joining me. And the main reason I do this, I've done marriage counseling. Boy, I can't look to a lot of successes in that. But when I started helping people change their careers or business or focus on something, their marriages got better. And then it hit me. If you just change one pattern, one habit, one routine in your life, get rid of one, the most successful people had some of the strangest patterns. And what they did was they just worked extra hard. They didn't get rid of it. They just tried to overcome it. It's much better to eliminate it. Here I've got my acorns. I think they're made out of pewter. And my original acorn, a little drawing of an acorn, because any new habit is like taking an acorn and planting it. And it's not enough to hear a habit. It's not enough to say, man, do I like that. But you've got to start acting on that new habit. You have to pull out an old, I call it a weed, something that isn't producing. Maybe it used to and now it doesn't. Or more than likely, it never produced anything good, anything godly, anything successful, anything you wanted. Get rid of it. Get rid of it and put one, not 5, not 10, not 20, one new pattern, one new habit, one new practice, one new principle, one new picture in its place. And I'm telling you, change will start to come. I always keep this notebook here. I only have, it's a notebook with, 7,500 pages. But I've only used 3 pages because these, talking about patterns and practices and habits, are not my strong suit. That's why I think I'm good at teaching it, at sharing it, because if I can do it, guaranteed you can do it. This is not easy for me. I don't want to. I picked up a book with 11 steps to a new habit, and I said, that's too many. Well, this is 3. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. And I thought for just a second, before you know it, I had 10. But I went with my top 3. Not going to tell you what they are, but every day I remember, it still, apparently it was a habit for the 4 weeks I worked on it, but I still have it every time I see the book. I thank God every day for 3 things in my life that are priceless. And what it does, just doing that, I say it out loud. I thank God for it because I think every good thing comes from God. You can think whatever you want. This is about patterns, practices, and principles. But I thank God for it every day. But what it does, what it did to me, what the little book I read said, it will change your outlook. You'll start to have a better outlook. And I'm telling you, it worked. Something that simple worked. I can't believe it. And when I don't, say if I go past this, my little studio here, I go past and don't peek in for 2, 3, 4 days, I notice I start to go back. Yeah, I wouldn't call it an Eeyore, but I can certainly, the way I'm wired or the way I was raised, I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I can see flaws and I can see mistakes. It's hard for me to watch this show because of my mistakes, but when one thing I'm learning, I'm watching. So if I make a mistake, I write it down and say, okay, I don't want to do that ever again. Or if I did something I liked, I want to do that every week. Because if I'm not willing to watch it, why should you watch it? But it's hard on a recovering perfectionist to watch something that's not perfect. But anyway, this helped. And you can write it on a piece of paper. This just was a little book sitting right next to where I was filming this. And so I did it. 3 things I'm thankful for. Say it out loud. Say it every day. And it helps you keep a more positive mental and emotional outlook. See, I pulled up one thing. I pulled up, because I noticed what I was doing. I was starting to notice what I didn't have instead of celebrating what I did have. Everybody has something. Nobody has everything. Quit comparing yourself. Oh, somebody here has much more money than I do. Well, you can make more money if you'd like. I, I don't know anybody. Well, that's not true. I do know a couple of people don't care if they have more money. I'd like to make more money. I have plans. I have vision. I have things I'd like to do to make my life better, to make life better for many, many other people, some specific and other more general categories, and it's going to take money. But money doesn't come by wishing. None of this comes by wishing and hoping, oh, when I wish upon a star. That ain't not going to do it. You're going to have to stop doing one thing you've always done that isn't producing what you want. You want to lose weight? Quit buying candy at the big box store so you get a 6-pound bag. It's okay if you have a little bite of a candy bar here and then. I've got a friend, and she just loves See's candy. She'll get a piece out. I believe it takes her about 5 days to eat one piece, a bite a day. And I'm going, that person has self-control. And one of the things, if you don't have self-control, don't stop by at See's and get 4 pounds and say, I'll only eat one at a time. See, so she's rewarding herself and using discipline. What a pattern. And so because of this program, and because it's not my strength, and because I'm trying to work on things that I don't, some of the things I tell you are things I've done. Other things I tell you are things I've read. I'm going to give you a couple of patterns here you can that'll help people who procrastinate or put things off. And but I'm going to tell you that in just a minute. But first, I'm going to tell you something I'm doing every day. It's the second day, so it's a brand new pattern, a brand new habit. It's something I used to do at night to encourage myself, and I've decided I'm going to do it at the start of the day, because I need something to help me set my direction so I'm going in one direction, going the direction I want instead of the direction I'm pulled by everything that happens during the day. There's probably been 3 or 4 things that have happened today that have delayed me taping this show. They're frustrating things. I want to get them done. And I said, you know what? They're going to get done by the end of the day. So I'm going to do what I want to do first. And so there's this new habit. I'm not going to tell you. It's personal. But it's helping me with my gratitude, my state of mind, how I see myself, how I see the world. It only takes about 5 minutes. And when I start to see some, what would you call it, tangible results, not just a better uptick, but no. When people around me notice, hey, there's something different about you, then I'll share it with you. So I'm going to share a couple of things that will help you defeat procrastination. I call myself a recovering perfectionist because perfectionists don't like, oh, I'm not, I've got so many friends, I'm not a perfectionist. Well, there's one who wants to do television, and he wants to do this all the time. And I said, well, let's get started soon. Perfectionism often keeps you from doing what you want to do, even what you should do, because you're afraid you're not going to do it well. Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly, especially at the start. How are you going to know how to do something unless you start doing something? This isn't what you'd call, I'm not on a bunch of networks, but I'm on a television station, I'm on YouTube, I'm in different places. And so it's a good start, and I'm learning. Well, I was going to say learning about lighting, but I don't know anything about lighting. I let that fall to my producer, technical man who does everything. And so if the lighting's not right, it's not me. It's not me, it's him. But he's really good at this. And so one of the things you have to admit, I tend to procrastinate. Now, not everybody does, but a lot of people who do, and a lot of people who do, they are perfectionists. Well, I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I noticed I'm still procrastinating getting something done that I want done, that needs to be done. I want it to be done. I can do it. And I noticed I put it off and put it off. I've always got a good excuse. So something came up. Well, something's always going to come up, just like doing this television program. 3 things came up today. Put them all on the back burner. We're going to do this thing. Easy peasy. So I found a little book on why people procrastinate. It's the tiniest little book. It's like 20 pages. And I started to read it, and I didn't like it. It said people who procrastinate do that because of low self-esteem. And I go, now, wait a minute. I got good self-esteem. Now, it isn't a blanket statement. It just said the majority of them. And so it gave a couple of ideas to help break procrastination. And I pretend this is your little schedule book for the day, and you schedule them, man, I got this meeting I got to go to, I've got this thing I've got to do. Well, for people who procrastinate, look in your schedule book, but put in there something you want to do. I want to go golfing today. I want to go for a walk today. I want to take a nap at 3 in the afternoon. I want to go boating, or I want to go bowling, or something. Put something fun in there. Schedule something fun in there. And when you come to the things that need to be done, instead of putting in there have to do or need to do, you put in there I choose to do. I choose to do it. I have no idea if that works, but I'm trying it, okay? That's something I'm trying. It's my first week at. But I read the little book, and it was written in a very dry tone, like somebody was working on their PhD or had their PhD. But I'm going to go with their research and see if they're right, and we'll find out together if that's something you do. Now I have written down a couple of things I want to share them with you. You'll never change your life until you change something you do every day. I have no idea who said that. I wrote it down, but I do know who said that. I don't know if that's Mahatma Gandhi, but I found 3 quotes this week and that really spoke to me. You'll never change your life until you change something you do every day. And that's what this program is. Changing patterns, changing practices, changing habits, routines, even changing pictures, how you see yourself, how you talk about yourself, how you think about yourself. That is something that has to be changed. Most people are looking everywhere for someone to believe in them. Oh, if only somebody believe in me. If my boss, my wife, my husband, my family. Only if you are going to have to believe in you. Once you've believed in you and you've succeeded and you've broken through and you had some success, people everywhere will come out and say, I was behind you all the way. Yeah, how far behind me were you? So you have to do it. You've got to believe in you. You'll never change your life until you change something you do every day. Change something you say. I have a friend who talks to himself in a mirror. I have no idea why, but it says he says it brings him confidence. He says out loud things to himself in a mirror he wishes somebody else would say about him. He wished somebody would, stand him up in a crowd and say, this is you got to hear it someplace. Why don't you start with you? You can control you. You say something good about yourself. What's that old Bob Dylan line? You need to give yourself a good talking to. Yeah. What are you saying to yourself? You are talking to yourself or about yourself all day. So you're never going to change your life till you change something you do every day. Now this is something else. This is Dale Carnegie. I remember who said this. Feeling sorry for yourself and your current situation is not only a waste of time, it's the worst habit you could possibly have. Feeling sorry for yourself or feeling sorry for your current situation is a waste of time and energy, Dale Carnegie says, but it's also the worst habit you could ever have. And that's what this program is. Patterns for progress. We're going to change one pattern. We're going to pull out a pattern that's not producing, or it's producing something that you don't want. It's producing failure and defeat and discouragement. That's a weed. Pull it up. And you take a little acorn, which is a new habit, a conscious habit, a habit from somebody who has succeeded where you want to succeed. Not somebody who's failing where you're failing. Plant that in your life and begin to do it. And hopefully we'll be part of your solution. We'll be part of your breakthrough. We'll be part of your victory here at Patterns for Progress. I'm Stephen Peterson. I'm here every week. In fact, I'm here more than every week. And I thank you for watching me, and I hope you'll tune in again next week. Thanks so much.